Welcome to the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. Your adventure into the world of comic book movies starts here.
Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. My name's Travis.
And I'm Patrick.
We're going to do a character review this time. Figure we needed a little buffer between The Crow and the upcoming Vampirella.
Yeah. And I didn't realize Vampirella wasn't a cartoon. So
Right.
I saw the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to hate my life.
Yeah.
It looks like a Skinamax movie.
It kind of does. Yeah.
Quality wise.
It's a Roger Corman produced flick. So if
Okay,
that kind of
it's
tells
cheap.
you around the, production level, I guess.
Was he involved with the Fantastic
Yes.
Four? Yeah.
Producer on that.
The unreleased Fantastic Four? Okay.
Yeah, maybe Vampirella should have been unreleased as well. I don't know.
Oh, it was released.
We'll see.
Okay.
I think so.
Theaters?
Let's not go crazy.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, so before we get to that, we'll do some run through a couple characters on the old IGN top 100 list. Shall we kick it off?
Let's do it.
Starting up, we got number 26. Number 26, okay, is Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
When you said Grimes, I thought you were talking about The Thing for some reason.
Ben Grimm.
Yeah, so that shows you how well Rick stayed in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I know him as is the cowboy sheriff hat wearing dad that's just doing his best.
Coral.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never read The Walking Dead?
No.
Okay. I've read a few. I have several of the volumes, like the hardcover. I think I've got like 9 of them. Yeah, I can see them on a shelf over there. I've got 9 of the collected volumes, and I've read maybe 4 or 5 of them. They were good. I just, fell off the Walking Dead train and haven't gone back to it yet. And then as far as like the show, I watched 3 seasons maybe.
Yeah, I think I made it 3 or 4. It was whenever they got to the prison is when I stopped.
Yeah, I think I watched the prison season, and then they were leaving the prison to go, I think, join up with the town or something like that. And yeah, that's when I fell off of it.
Yeah, I think there's like a town of cannibals.
Yeah. I think I got just to them in the comics.
Yeah.
So I don't know what their deal was, but he's a good enough character as far as your main character. He's he's the strong silent type basically. I know in the books he loses a hand. I don't know if they did that in the
I remember hearing about that. Everyone kept waiting for his hand to come off.
Yeah.
I don't know if the show like hinted at it by almost getting his hand taken off every now and then. But,
right.
Yeah, I'd be interested if he would still be on this high status now.
Right.
Because there was a time when Walking Dead was all anyone talked about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago or something.
Yeah.
I honestly haven't thought about it in probably 5 years.
Sure. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at.
Yeah.
I always liked it, but it was a lot of the same as far as the show goes. Every episode was.
Yeah, it was just too bleak after a while.
Yeah.
I was like, once they got to cannibals, and I was like, God, Trump's our president. I can't handle this anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was a happier time, I could escape to
right.
Nonsense of zombie cannibal humans and all that.
Yeah.
But when the world was heading towards it, it didn't seem as fun.
It's not as escapist as you.
Yeah, it was more like, oh man, is this going to happen? Especially with COVID.
Right.
I was like, man, it's coming. Dust off my cowboy hat.
It's he's not a very old character. The Walking Dead started in October of 2003, so it was like huge, sudden popularity.
Yeah, because it was still getting written when
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show
they
started.
hadn't finished the book when it
Okay.
the show started. Yeah,
Yeah, because I used to watch The Talking Dead, and I thought that was the
yeah,
case. It
yeah.
was kind of like uh, Game of Thrones, where it
Hmm.
wasn't finished, but still gigantic culturally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's just a dude trying to survive with his son and baby daughter.
yeah. Do they? Does he have a daughter in the show?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. In the comics, the baby gets killed.
yeah,
I think
I
at the
remember
end of the
people
first
worrying about
season or
that
something. Yeah. Okay. Or first
because
volume.
she's um, kind of a liability with crying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tough time to be a baby.
I never saw that Quiet Place. I don't know how they dealt with, because I know they have she gives birth or something in that movie where they have to like be quiet because
Hmm.
there's aliens or something that are attracted by noise or something.
Yeah, that's the thing that was. What is it? They just came out with a sequel to that, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen either, which is something I have to rectify. I heard it was good. So
Yeah.
was it? What's his face directed it from
Yeah.
The Office?
Uh, John Krasinski.
Yeah, Krasinski. I always want to say Cranston, but I know that's not the right guy. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else. I mean,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be a leader in a pinch and does okay for a while, and then
Right.
assume he falls off.
Yeah, I don't know where the series ended with him. I know he left the show, and I think he stuck around, in the book as for like to the end, but
Hmm,
maybe I'll find out someday. Should we move on?
sure.
All right, let's do number 31. Staying in Rick Grimes's neighborhood. So, I wondered when we would get to if he was on this list. Number 31, Deadpool.
Oh, must have been before the movie. This list.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to check when this list came out.
I think it
Uh,
was a while ago.
yeah,
I'm always surprised at how old it is.
yeah. Oh, I want to say 2006.
Yeah, I was thinking '07 or something. Deadpool's kind of taking the top spot for Marvel.
With Marvel, it's always been like Spider-Man and then Wolverine. I would almost be willing to bet that Deadpool is more popular than Wolverine.
Yeah, I see
Uh,
way more Deadpool stuff, like
yeah,
people wearing it, than
yeah,
anything. Little kids, it's still Spider Man, but
yeah,
grown men, it seems to be Deadpool. As you wear a Spider Man t shirt, I see.
yeah.
Little kid.
Yeah, I gotta represent my favorite.
Yeah.
Um,
The Peter Pan of comic book heroes.
yeah, basically.
Never gets older until they kill him off.
That's right.
That's the lesson of Spider Man. Never grow old.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'll die or live with regret like in Into the Spider Verse. So you have Deadpool.
Yeah. Goes back to The New Mutants number 98 from February of 1991. And that's a book that just keeps going up in value. So I'm lucky to have a copy.
Nice.
Every now and then I like to check and see, how that investment is is going. Um, but yeah, created by Rob Liefeld. Basically a mercenary. Right at the start, it was a little vague. Like, is he a mutant? Is he just a random character in this story? Because it's basically they just used him as a lab experiment. They cured
So I
his
know in the
cancer, but
yeah.
gave him a version of Wolverine's healing
Okay.
factor, but it also like left him horribly disfigured. Not disfigured, but like his skin is completely just looks melted.
Yeah, I kind of took it as his because in the movie it shows them stressing him
Yeah,
until his ability kicks in, but
yeah,
unfortunately for his skincare routine, it didn't kick in until after he was already kind of melted.
yeah,
So it defaults to that
hmm
look, I guess, is
yeah.
how I took it.
Um, and Deadpool is was one of my favorite characters. For a long time. I was in the real sweet spot of reading his comics in like 1997. There was a good run that started that I was able to kind of get in on that level. Before that, he was a character that just kind of appeared every now and then. He had a few miniseries. But then, yeah, 97, and he got his own book. And that was a fun read for, I think I was, 14 at the time. So it was perfect age for starting something like that.
Oh
And,
yeah.
you know, I have got several copies of that number one because the first one that I bought, I still have like read it. I read it until the cover like literally came apart, separated from the book itself. That's just one that I read so many times. I would redraw the cover of it just to, I don't know. I was really into that book. And then that love of Deadpool, over time faded a little bit. I still like the character a lot, and I love that Ryan Reynolds ended up playing him. But he's a character that now it's like, okay, I'm I can check in with Deadpool every now and then.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him getting exhausting after a while.
Yeah, yeah, they've done fun things with him.
Hmm.
One storyline that started out, and he has, so like Deadpool has the ability to, he knows he's in a comic, he knows he's a comic book character. He refers to himself as a comic book character. Sometimes he breaks that fourth wall, and they do that really well in the movie as well. So he has like that kind of inner monologue going on, and then they added like another not a thought bubble, but like an exposition kind of dialogue box that would run concurrently, like essentially making it seem like he has split personality, like he was talking to himself.
Yeah.
And then they finally reveal that, like, in somehow there's this character called, I want to say it's either Fool Killer or Slapjack or something like that. Some character that somehow like got merged with him. So he finds out that it's not just this uh alternate personality that he's got. He had another character living in his head for a while.
Okay.
So that totally fun. It really only would have worked with him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird, but it worked.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised he's that low on the list. I thought he'd be up higher, but
Yeah,
maybe since the movie hadn't come out yet.
yeah, that definitely propelled him into. I'm sure if they did this list now, I'm sure he'd be higher.
Yeah.
Just for popularity alone. He is a character that I would put him in the, if you just split it heroes and villains, he is more of a hero. Deep down, he's got a decent enough heart, but he started out just as a mercenary. He was started out listed as a villain, so he's kind of redeemed himself a little bit over time. He's a little bit like, not as I don't know, cold as the Punisher, but
Yeah, he kind of made me think of Spawn.
oh yeah,
Like he's a mercenary before
oh sure,
the experiments go awry, or not experiment.
right.
What was he set up for murder, or in the movie
Yeah,
at least?
basically, framed and sacrificed, essentially.
Yeah, but he never came across as like truly evil, other
No.
than his job,
Yeah, yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. They always kind of tended to pair him up with like Cable and the Juggernaut and X Force and that section of the X Men,
And I loved
universe.
X Force in the movie.
Yeah,
It's so awesome. I just like the regular guy,
yeah. uh, Pete maybe or something like
something
that.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful Pete and his wicked mustache made me feel like I could be on the X Force.
Right. One thing that's fun about Deadpool is his real name's Wade Wilson, and he's essentially, no way to get around it or hide it. He's based on Slade Wilson, who is Deathstroke over in,
Yeah,
in DC. So
Slade.
yeah,
That sounds like it's the one that's made up.
yeah,
Like it should be the other way around. I could see Deadpool being named Slade Wilson.
yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah. I don't know what else about Deadpool.
Yeah, because as far as I know, he's basically Wolverine without claws and
Yeah.
the
Oh,
skeleton.
let's talk about that actually. In X-Men Origins Wolverine is when we first see Deadpool on screen.
Yeah.
And it's Ryan Reynolds, so that was like, every fanboy's dream was getting Ryan Reynolds to play Deadpool. And then I know a lot of people weren't thrilled once once they saw him on screen as Deadpool. They almost immediately, like, you get him from one scene. He's not in costume. He's not, the version of Deadpool everyone really knows. And then you see him again in the end of the movie, and they've sewn his mouth shut. He's famously a very a wisecracking kind of character.
Yeah.
So yeah, they sew his mouth shut, and then they give him all these other mutant powers and abilities and knife arms.
Yeah. He was like a
Um,
Mortal Kombat character.
yeah, yeah. I I've always said, like, in that movie it makes sense to have a character that would have a bunch of different abilities. It makes sense that you'd give him Cyclops's eye beams. Unfortunately, they when he shoots out those eye beams, it like burns the flesh around his eyes, so it kind of gives him the kind of black diamonds that are obviously a part of the costume. So it's like
Oh,
trying to kind of nod at that, and that's a little cheesy. They give him swords in his arms instead of Wolverine's claws. That just if you think about that too hard, it's like, where does the full katana blade go once it's inside him, and how does he then bend his
yeah.
elbow, stuff like that. It's like, but then they give him like the teleporting ability from one of the characters in that movie, which I kind of like, because in the comics for a long time he could teleport, but it wasn't a mutant ability. It was technology.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, in that movie, I don't mind the decision to enhance him with a bunch of different powers, make him the ultimate killing machine. So
Yeah, I remember thinking his mutant name would be the kitchen sink
yeah.
because it's just a hodgepodge of
Yep. Let's throw everything at it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
which I assumed he was gonna just explode or something with all the different
Sure.
abilities going off.
Yeah.
Because there's probably a reason you only get like one go at a power.
Yeah.
Can't imagine that being very stable.
Well, at least they kind of explain it away. Like, he needs the healing factor
Yeah.
from Wolverine to be able to kind of contain all that.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah,
Healy powers fixes everything.
basically. Yeah.
Uh, that's the thing I always liked about Wolverine
Yeah.
is he's got the physical healing power, but emotionally he's a disaster.
Oh yeah.
Like he can't heal emotionally.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like kind of ironic that his power is healing, but only physical,
Yeah.
which would be rough if you live that long.
Yeah. But it's also convenient that for a big chunk of time he didn't have any memory.
Hmm.
So even his mind couldn't heal. Like, there were things that were locked away, or it just maybe too traumatic to remember, or something like that. But I guess
Yeah.
that's kind of a way, in a sense, that's a way of your mind, your brain protecting itself from trauma, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So
Um, yeah,
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Be really interested to see what they do with him moving into the MCU. The whole, all the Fox stuff moving into the MCU. I hope they handle it, well. I don't really want all the Fox X-Men characters in my MCU. I mean, they've basically already brought Quicksilver over. They used him in that Scarlet Witch,
Yeah.
WandaVision.
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah. But so I don't know
The
if
multiverse is messing me up. Like I don't
yeah,
know what
yeah,
that could be anything.
I know, yeah. I'd really like a fresh take on most of the mutants
And I
in the
never
MCU.
yeah, I never thought of the X-Men being part of the MCU.
Well, they haven't been,
Yeah.
legally they couldn't be for the longest time. So,
Like I mean just like cartoons, they seem separate
oh,
from like
yeah,
I never combined Iron Man with the X-Men
okay,
or any of those characters. Like
yeah,
they're
they've
almost like
certainly,
a subdivision of Marvel, like each is its
yeah,
own.
yeah, they do a decent enough job of the X-Men. The mutants are kind of their own thing.
Yeah.
Um, they don't. Sometimes they get involved in the broad Marvel universe, and sometimes they just keep to themselves, and they've got their own. You could almost do a complete comic book line on just X-Men. Just
Yeah.
mutants. So
because
And they kind of did in the 90s. I mean, there were so many X books coming out. So
X-Men's more evolutionary,
yeah,
power based, and
yeah,
the others are mistakes, man made,
sure,
or
science.
outer space magic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how else to explain Thor. So
yeah, space god,
yeah, I always thought of the X-Men as just their own thing,
and that's reasonable. You know.
but I have a feeling it's just gonna get at some point they gotta. I think Marvel needs to take a step back from itself and try not to make this so convoluted.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I mean, think about a kid now trying to get into this, and there's like all these movies, all these shows, like, like
yeah,
it's just overwhelming.
yeah.
Like anime
Th-
has the same problem where there's like 800 episodes,
okay.
and it's like, who's gonna sit through that? Because there's like a crap load of filler,
Yeah,
and you might miss a little tidbit, but the majority of that filler is just crap. And I fear that Marvel's going that route where
okay.
TV shows are going to become that filler. Like I've tried Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I cannot.
Really?
I just episode 1. I'm like, maybe next year. And Star Wars is kind of going that route.
Oh yeah,
Like there's all these little offshoots here and there, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's great for people that have been able to stick with it, but
yeah.
it's hard to get into it if you're so behind.
I could
And
see that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not for the binging era,
Well, and
but
that's it.
to me,
There
it's rough.
can be a downside maybe of everything being connected, because then
Yeah,
it would be hard to, like, well, if you want to understand Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you
yeah,
got to go back and start with Iron Man, and watch everything up until then. But yeah,
yeah. It's just yeah. I'm a fan of it to an extent, but
yeah,
I feel like they should do what some animes do, where they have arcs.
okay,
Like I know they have phase 1, phase 2, but
sure,
it's just a haphazard, like
yeah, they
thrown together thing.
yeah.
Um,
Be
but they need
interested
to
to
have like
see.
small chunks.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see in a couple years, now that we're outside, we're post Infinity Saga,
Hmm.
and it kind of not reset everything, but there probably should have been a better jumping on point, you know, after Thanos and the Infinity end game, and maybe make that a new like starting point. And
Hmm.
I don't know if they've done a good job of, like, if you're just now getting into it, because they even everything post Endgame has still referenced Endgame, and the snap
Yeah,
and people coming back after 5 years, and so
yeah. I think it's weird that the stepping on point was like 4 shows or 3 shows or however many there are,
yeah, yeah,
because that's a lot to
sure,
step into.
yeah,
And personally, I'm still trying to get through the Winter Soldier before I go on to Loki
oh, okay,
and Hawkeye.
yeah.
And Hawkeye, I am dreading with a passion.
Hawkeye, Hawkeye was good.
I just,
It was fun.
I don't care about the character at all.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to
Yeah,
go into it not caring about,
it's the same problem I have with the Winter Soldier. I
sure.
don't give a crap about Bucky. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
and Falcon, he got beat by the Ant Man. Come on, that dude's like just weighing it.
Yeah.
But
No.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll get through it. I
Yeah.
think after WandaVision, I was like so hyped, and then first episode Winter Soldier, I was like, oh, we're saving a boat. Great.
But the community comes together to help them.
Spoilers, I haven't finished it. I literally got to the boat and I'm like, oh my god, I don't care. Click. Oh god, I just showed how old I was by saying click.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to use a clicker.
Right.
Anyway, I got way off topic here.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so that was Deadpool.
See what Deadpool did? It messed me up.
That's right. You want to move on?
Yeah,
All right.
probably best.
Number 71. This will be a short one. Wildcat.
Kind of disappointed. They should have replaced this with Thundercats.
That's Wily Kit.
Yeah. Wildcat.
Wildcat. So Wildcat goes back to Sensation Comics #1 from January 1942. So been
Jeez.
around a long time.
Yeah.
You've probably seen this character. I know they've used him in Justice League stuff. He's a DC character,
Hmm.
um, but Justice Society of America. Um, he's just a dude. He's like a boxer who puts on a black like cat suit.
God.
Yeah. So he's kind of got a little bit of a Batman thing going on, a little bit of a Daredevil kind of thing with just being like street level. I think the few times I've seen him used in any DC shows, they always show him as like he's an old grizzled, boxer who owns
Yeah.
a gym and will train other heroes to fight. I forget what
Gotcha.
show. Maybe it was in like the Flash Arrowverse.
Oh, okay.
I know they did something like that where they showed this old dude who could still fight.
Gotcha.
Says Ted Grant has his roots deeply planted in the DCU. Not only is he a founding member of the Justice Society of America, but Grant is also responsible for training new generations of heroes that seem to crop up like weeds. And it says Grant also taught Batman everything he knows about boxing.
Okay. So he's just a rando ancillary character that's kind of like the Mr. Miyagi of the DCU.
Yeah, yeah.
He-
There's an extra bit here that says, sure, he's protected by some magical 9 lives spell, but that doesn't change the fact that Grant is an old man who has yet to keel over from a heart attack. So,
Please tell
yeah.
me it's Catwoman's dad.
I do think there's I think he's had like a young woman like that he trained and she took up the Wildcat persona, I think. Pretty sure like that
The
he's
Nine
no
Lives
longer.
made me think of Catwoman.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
I
right,
don't
that
think
was
I've
quick.
ever. What's that?
That was quick.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have anything else on
Yeah.
Wildcat. Yeah, so then we go to number 13.
Oh, lucky 13.
Yeah. And number 13, Jean Grey.
Oh,
Yeah. First appearance, X-Men #1 for September of 1963.
so are they separating Jean from the Phoenix?
Not really. Jean Grey. She's a character that has never had a. I mean, she has had a few code names.
Hmm.
Marvel Girl, and then Phoenix. Went in the '80s. Well, once they wrote in the Phoenix, that whole saga.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of always just gone by Jean Grey for the most part. Marvel Girl didn't really
Yeah.
although I think they've come back around, and I think she's actually using the name Marvel Girl now.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm I'm not up to date on my X-Men reading, but I'm somewhat up to date. I'm like a few months behind. So, but I think I saw something about her. Like she's in that same costume that she initially came. Was one of her early costumes, anyways. But
Because she's like a combination of Professor Xavier and I guess somebody with awesome telekinesis.
yeah, I mean she's a telepathic, telekinetic individual. So yeah, she's got a really great power set.
Yeah.
And obviously that's been a factor in the stories, like several times, it being revealed that Professor X like saw that she had this great awesome power and he decided to put like roadblocks, kind
Hmm.
of like you're not ready yet for all the power you have, so I'm going to put up these little barriers and we'll unlock them when you're ready.
Like very
So
intrusive training wheels.
yeah, yeah. One of the things I've learned over like last couple of years reading a lot of X-Men is that how terrible of a person Professor X is. So even going back to reading the initial, you know, 60s X-Men comics, like there's one bit where he flat out says like, to himself, like confesses his love for her. And it's like she might be 16.
Jesus.
Yeah, so not great. But
Yeah.
there's so much with any X-Men character. There's so much history. She's died a few times. She's been the Phoenix. She's come back. Which hey, if you're gonna have a character who at some times at some points has the Phoenix entity within her, makes sense that she can come back from the dead.
Yeah,
Being
I mean,
being a
it's like a
Phoenix. So
power that
yeah,
consumes you and then I guess rebirths you. I guess
yeah. I've never been
I don't quite.
super clear on. I mean, I know the Phoenix is it's like this alien cosmic life force that will travel across the galaxies and to find a host, and it tends to like to come after Jean Grey. So
Yeah, I think
um,
Marvel has way too many cosmic-y things, like Eternals and
yeah, I mean,
Celestials and
like we said earlier, with the mutants can be their own entirely
yeah,
separate thing. So can the cosmic side of Marvel.
yeah,
And then this is just one area with the Venn diagram
yeah,
of mutants and cosmic Marvel, that this is kind of where it overlaps. So yeah, I like Jean Grey. I really like the way they've used her in the last couple years in the comics. She's a good leader. Unfortunately, she's sometimes like she's too tied into like Cyclops and their love. I don't know, triangles that they've been in. Over the years.
yeah. I don't really give a crap about her and Wolverine,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, the
yeah,
the movies focused on trying to make that a thing way too much, I think. I never liked that Wolverine was into her, obviously, and she should have just been able to say, "Hey, I'm married." Like, back off, So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Anyone with mind ability
yeah.
kind of automatically to me seems overpowered
Yeah.
because it's like I guess unless you got a fancy helmet like Juggernaut or Magneto,
Yeah.
pretty much everyone's weak to you. It seems like
Yeah.
so. I don't know. I've never really liked mental abilities because like I don't know. It's just too powerful.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
you can get anyone to do anything at
Right.
any time. You can tell them to stop breathing. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's it's just insane to me that that's a power. Like
Yeah. Sure.
it just doesn't make any sense that
Yeah.
those people would have any problem with anybody. But you
Yeah.
get some fancy helmets here and there that'll throw you off your game. But
Right.
or I guess other mutants with mind abilities,
Yeah.
like that dude Legion.
Oh, sure.
That's where it's kind of fun when the ability kind of turns in on itself.
Kind of messes make yeah.
But aside from that, like Professor X and Jean Grey, I'm just like, all right, you guys should just destroy everything. Like,
Well,
and they kind of get to it with Logan
yeah.
when
Oh,
he
yeah, yeah.
Professor X is on the way out,
Right, he
and that
can't
was kind of
control his
interesting.
his mental abilities, yeah.
Yeah, because he's got like Alzheimer's or something, and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's the only time I was interested in Professor X.
okay. Yeah,
Aside
probably.
from that, he was just a creepy dude that liked to keep kids around, and I don't know, I didn't like him very much.
I liked him in the movies
Eh,
because I like the Patrick Stewart portrayal of him, and
yeah,
they don't get into well, when they bring in the Phoenix storyline, they kinda he shows his, true colors a little bit as far
yeah.
as, yeah, I put these roadblocks in her brain, like, and I'm not gonna, answer to you about it, Logan,
I
but
don't think I ever liked Cerebro.
oh, okay.
Like that just seemed like Big Brother,
Oh, sure.
NSA kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like, "Here, let's
Just like
enhance my powers, and I can find every living soul on the planet."
yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
destroy it with a
Yeah.
single thought. Yeah, that's what a telepath needs, more power.
Yeah.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jean Grey, I
Jean
kind of
Grey, yeah.
lumped in with them. Anybody that can manipulate like that is
Sure.
just I don't know. I'm not going to be rooting for them.
Right.
Like it's just an unfair. Like I don't know.
Yeah. What else about Jean Grey? I don't care for how they write her in those early X-Men stories in the 60s, and it's the same problem that any female character has in those early books. It is that Stanley didn't know how to write, female characters. So more often than not, she's left on the sidelines because, oh, this is too dangerous. Cyclops will, as the team leader, Cyclops will say, like, let us handle this. You better stay here. And then for a little while, she left the team so that she could go to college, and basically try to live that kind of normal life. And so she wasn't part of the team. And then she, of course, came back but still was not never able to just be a full member of the team, and they used her gender to be a handicap almost. So there's a lot of that, and that's the same as Sue Storm with the Fantastic Four and just several other female characters at that time. So I think in the 80s, the late 70s, 80s, and into the 90s run of X-Men, mostly by Chris Claremont. I know is supposed to be some of the best, storytelling in comics. So I'm excited to get to that eventually, but it's so convoluted, all the history with X-Men. So and she's a big part of that, like her like storyline with Scott Summers, and they are the parents of future Cable, and like just all that stuff is
Good lord.
it's all so much. So
Yeah, I feel like comics get too full of themselves and then have to redcon stuff all the time.
yeah, yeah.
It's like somebody thinks this is a great idea and then they get stuck and they're like, well, somebody's going to have to die. But
That's one way they brought Jean back that I really liked, 'cause I feel like she was dead at this point, but in the it's probably been probably 6 or 7 years ago now. It's hard to remember, like, when stuff happens, but essentially, the Phoenix Force came back to Earth. I think at this time, Jean was dead. I don't know how or why she was out of the picture at this point. But the Phoenix Force comes back to Earth, and instead of finding a host in Jean Grey, it found a host in 5 X-Men characters. It was like it split itself into 5 and went into Cyclops, Emma Frost, Namor, maybe Colossus, and one other one. Forget who. Oh, Magic from New Mutants. um,
magic.
yeah,
Clever.
and so then through that big event, it was basically like X-Men versus Avengers, and at the end of it, Cyclops kills Professor X at that point, and because he was like he couldn't stop himself, too powerful or whatever.
Hmm.
So then, in order to like kind of make Cyclops, answer for what he's done, they wrote in this really, I think, very clever get out of jail free card, where Beast developed this. He went back in time and essentially brought the original 1960s X-Men team of 5 teenagers. He brought them to the present day so that Cyclops could basically have a conversation with himself and like look at what you become, or like try to convince him to kind of quit being Cyclops was on the road to becoming a bad guy, like almost like Magneto was. So they bring in the 5 young X-Men, and they left them in the current like run of comics for a long time. Which was a perfect like way to do it, because you could always send them back to the past. You could always send them back at any point. So I think some of them are still running around in the current comics because they can, because at any point when they need to, they can send them back to the past. So
God, I
and
hate time
and then it
travel.
won't like what's that?
I hate time travel.
Yeah. But I guess in bringing all that up, they bring in young Jean Grey, and she's struggling with the fact that she's not around. Her older self isn't here, and then she
Yeah.
finds out about all the Phoenix, nonsense, and she feels guilty for her future self having, because the Phoenix essentially killed like billions of lives when it it destroyed a planet at some point.
Oh,
So
jeez.
like so young, Jean Grey has to deal with that like future guilt, that she hasn't hasn't caused yet, but she kind of knows at one point she will, So it's but I really
That's
like
the
them using that time travel uh nonsense to bring back those characters.
because I always took the Phoenix Force as a entity taking over. Like it's not necessarily the person; they're just a vessel.
It
So
basically, yeah, I think it's a parasitic, symbiote, basically.
okay, so it's like what should
Yeah,
we call it?
Venom.
Venom.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's still a personality in there.
Yeah. They kind of just blend together, and that's
Okay,
why eventually when she gets this Phoenix Force, it turns her into the Dark Phoenix, and that was a whole Dark Phoenix saga. So,
yeah. I don't know. I think the latest X-Men movie kind of
oh man,
ruined me on Jean Grey.
yeah, did not
But
care for that movie, Dark
I was,
Phoenix.
yeah, I was like, nah. That and I've never liked that actress.
Oh yeah, Sophie Turner. I wasn't crazy about her. She was okay.
I've never understood why she kept getting these parts because I saw her like on some ABC Family show like a while ago
Oh really?
that Jess was real into, and
Oh
I was like, "This is the worst acting I've ever seen." It was like B grade soap opera,
okay.
and
Hmm.
I was like, "Switched at Birth," I think it was called.
Oh, I think that's someone else. I don't think that's the same actress.
Oh
That's
wait, no, not Switched
Shailene
at Birth.
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, no, it was a different show.
Oh, okay.
All the ABC Family ones are identical. I don't even think it's ABC Family anymore. It's
No,
like
I'm sure it's
Freeform,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah. I only know her from Game of Thrones, and then like as Jean Grey.
Now I gotta look her up because that's gonna drive me nuts. What show that is she's from? I knew she was dating Aaron Rodgers, but that's about all I
I
know.
thought she married a Jonas.
Did she?
I
I
think
have
so.
no idea.
If we're talking about the same person, the Sophie Turner who plays Jean Grey in the current ish Marvel movie X-Men movies.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, Jean Grey, uh, I've never really had much of a connection with, honestly.
Sure.
I just, yeah, I don't think her character has ever been really that great in the movies or
Oh yeah.
in the cartoon. Because in the cartoon, she comes off as like a preppy, like goody two shoes, kind of nerdy
Well, yeah.
person. I don't know.
Most of them
It's
do. Like her and Cyclops
yeah,
definitely just get.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I never really cared
Yeah.
about it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't really have much else on Jean Grey. I like her for the most part as a character, but like with most of the X-Men characters, there's just so much history, so it's hard to know what version of Jean Grey you're even talking about. So
Yeah,
should we call it there?
yeah, I'm good.
All right. You been into anything lately?
Trying to think.
We've basically just been watching Olympics, and then finishing stuff like Book of Boba Fett and Peacemaker. We're almost done with.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I heard Peacemaker's good.
it's fun. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly have not watched much of the Olympics.
yeah.
I
It's
think I'm I think I'm over the Olympics for the most part. Like
yeah. The winter has
it,
never been my favorite.
yeah, that too. Like
Olympic.
I
Uh,
watched maybe a few runs of snowboarding,
that's what
half
we've
pipe.
most. Yeah. The snowboarding and the skiing, like the snowboard style skiing, where it's like they do
Oh
the
yeah,
half
like
pipe and
freestyle.
the
Oh, okay.
tricks like that sort of thing
Gotcha.
on skis. That's been really fun, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Um
too much curling. I don't
oh I
don't care
know.
about curling.
Like that's on all the time for
I
some
know.
reason. Let me think. What have I been watching? Oh, I'm starting something that is promising
Oh yeah.
on Amazon Prime called Vox Monica or Machina, I think. Vox Machina. It's an animated kind of I guess guild style
Okay.
adventure and it's, I guess more adult oriented with gore and language.
Okay.
So I've seen one episode. It's pretty promising. So I'll see if it stays the course. But
Cool.
other than that, I don't think I've really seen much. I still need to see the new Suicide Squad, the newer
Oh.
one.
Yeah, watch that before you. If you watch Peacemaker, definitely watch that movie first.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get to watch Peacemaker because I don't have HBO. So,
Oh,
unless that comes out another way,
yeah, probably not.
yeah. So I just figure if it's on HBO Max, I'll never see it. Kind of like when whatchamacallit came out, Doom Patrol.
Yeah,
Like I'll never see that either.
that's a weird show. The latest season, we didn't care for as much as the
Oh, really?
first 2 seasons. Yeah,
Oh, wow. There's 3. Jesus.
I think so. Yeah.
What was that on? Like DC?
Well, well, I think it started on DC's app, and then it got moved over to HBO once
Oh,
that
okay.
service kind of got rolled into HBO.
So HBO is the DCU
Yeah, yeah.
area. Okay, gotcha.
It's all owned by Warner.
Okay, it's like their WandaVision and whatever.
Yeah,
It's all on
they're kind
HBO
of building
Max.
a shared universe over there. So
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else really.
okay, well, we can shut this one down. So yeah, we'll be back in like 2 weeks with Vampirella. So wish us luck.
It's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. But I guess until then, stay safe out there.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Find the show on Facebook and Twitter at Real Comic Heroes. All music and audio are the property of their respective creators.